Sports, a place where many athletes find success.
This is likely the final play that matters. End zone wide open. What a night for Mike Williams.
But where there's a winner, there has to be a loser.
He came a long way. You hear me? Come here, I love you, bro. Good.
It's one thing to watch the game, but another to analyze it. Let's talk about the numbers. You ready? YouTube! What's going on, man? Back at it, giving another video. It's your boy, Numbers Fan Jay. And you are tuned in to episode 2 of Football 101. But before I get into the content of this video, I want you guys to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm here every Monday and or Thursday. We talk about NFL football, NBA basketball, as well as the Men's March Madness tournament, which is currently not taking place this year. So hopefully it does take place next year. But anyway, to get into the content of this video, we do want to do a quick recap on last week's video. We talked about the importance of gear. We explained what the football field looks like. We explained the object of the game of football. So if you haven't seen that video, please go back, check that out for your boy. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like this series. Let me know if if I should do more advanced videos. Let me know. So without further ado, let's get into it. Good morning, class. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to another class of Football 101. And today, we'll be going over the personnel for the football field. Everybody that's on the football field, you will know them by the end of this class. You will know them. You will know the importance of these people. You will know exactly what they wear. You will know exactly what their job is. And it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to make it simple and easy for you. We're not going to make it too complicated for you guys today. So, starting off, just want to let you guys know that there is a team roster. No matter what level of football that you are playing, that you are watching, pee-wee, middle school, high school, college, NFL, there is a team roster that you can often find online. Some cases you might not be able to find it online, but online you usually can find it nowadays. There are preseason cuts. So of course, like any other team, there are tryouts or, what we call training camp in the NFL. This is the time where every team looks at the players they have on their roster and they decide, all right, this guy's really good. We're going to have to play him this year. Or they say, all right, this guy, he's just not working out with us. Maybe he'll fit somewhere else, but he's not going to be on our roster this year. Every person has to make the roster. They have to do something to make the roster. They have to make plays in practice. They have to, stand out in drills, things like that. Every roster has its limits. So in the NFL, there is a 53-man roster. Now, I don't know the number of people you can have on a roster in college or really any other level, but I know specifically in the NFL, by the time the season starts, you're supposed to only have 53 people on the roster. I know that sounds like a lot, but knowing that, only 11 players can be on the field for both teams, for each team that play the game. So you can have 53 players on the roster as long as you only have 11 players on the field during a play. You're good. If you have more than that, then you get into penalties, flags. That's against the rules. You're only supposed to have 11 people. Your opponent is supposed to only have 11 people as well. So any number above that gives you an unfair advantage, and that's why it's a flag. So you can only have those 11 players between the two gray out-of-bound lines on the field. So I just want to point out that we're going to be, explaining the field a little bit more because there's more than just the yard markers and the goal lines on the field, obviously, if you've seen the game of football. But we're going to explain the importance of, everything on the field and what it means, the significance of every marker, every symbol, everything like that. So But yeah, you can only have 11 players between the gray lines during the play. So, moving on, there are four major coaches on any level. You have the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and the special teams coach. Now, sometimes, in the lower levels, you don't really have a special teams coach. You may have an assistant coach somewhere that wants to take over that role, but it's really hard to find a special teams coach for the lower levels. But you will always have a head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. Now, oftentimes, in the lower levels, you do have the head coach taking over one side of the ball. So that is always up to him if it's going to be offense, if it's going to be defense. The head coach usually is going to pick one side of the ball that he wants to have more control over. But the offensive coordinator coaches the offense. The defensive coordinator coaches the defense. These are the guys who decide who's on the depth chart, who's on the field, when they're on the field, how long they're on the field. The head coach usually is found on the sideline, somewhere in the middle, near the line of scrimmage, making sure everybody that's going in the game is ready to go, making sure that his players are healthy. Say something happens on the field that looks like it could be a possible injury, he usually is the first guy you see running out there, especially if it's a player on his team. So head coach is the overseer for the rest of these coaches: offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams, and any other smaller coach under them, like a quarterback's coach or a kicking coach or offensive line coach. There are multiple coaches, but those are the four major coaches, right? Just wanted to also add, I can't believe I forgot to say this, but coaches call plays. So offensive coordinator calls the offensive plays, defensive coordinator calls the defensive plays, special teams calls the special teams plays, and the head coach, usually depending on which side of the ball he's favoring or the side of the ball that he decides to have more control over, he usually can override certain calls or certain formations or even take out certain players, but he gets the last call on whatever side of the ball that he decides to have more control over. So coaches call plays, head coach is the overseer of all of that, and he has the final say so. So I just want to tell you guys about that. Now we got to go into referees, officials. Two different names mean the same thing. These guys are the zebras, okay? They wear the black and white striped shirts. They have the whistle. They usually have a hat. They have flags on them. They have a microphone on them, usually depending on, the level of the game and if they really need a microphone. On the lower levels, Pee-wee levels, they might not need a microphone. But definitely in the NFL and in college football, they have microphones on them so that they can tell the crowd, which is usually thousands of people, what happened on the play, why there was a flag thrown, why there wasn't a flag thrown, why the play was called or why the play was stopped, anything like that. So these guys, they make sure all the players follow all of the rules at all times. So if they see a player breaking a rule, they throw these yellow things called flags. There's a yellow piece of cloth that they hold in their pocket. They might have two of these, and if they throw both of them, if they so happen to throw both of them during a play or after a play, and they run out and they have to throw another one, now they're going to throw their hat up in the air, just whatever they can have, whatever they can throw. But yeah, so the referees make sure everybody follows the rules of the game. And this also includes coaches. Sometimes coaches can step out of line with something they say towards the referee, or they can jump on the field when they're not supposed to. Let's say a player gets caught on the wrong sideline and he gets into it with another player. A punch is thrown. Okay, now the referee has to throw a flag and he has to break up that altercation. So the referees are like the peacekeepers, supposedly. Make sure everything flows smoothly. So just to go back and rerun through this, there's a team roster you can usually find online. There are only supposed to be 11 players on the field for each team at a time. There are four major head coaches: head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. Lower levels usually might not have a special teams coordinator, but the coaches will come together and figure something out for special teams. Referees, also known as officials, make sure everything runs smoothly during the game. Make sure everybody follows all of the rules of the game to ensure that the game is safe and played correctly and fairly. So that's all I got for y'all today. Like I said before, we will be getting into more of the things on the field. For example, the down markers, the goal line, pylons, the field goal post. We'll get into all of those over time. I don't want to give y'all too much at once for y'all that don't know anything about the game. I want to give y'all the basics first. And then as we go on, just to not make sure I'm not confusing you, we're going to give you everything as we're going to drop those things in as we go over them. You know what I'm saying? So when we get to talking about special teams, I'll definitely put the field goal post in there and explain what they are, why they're in the position that they're in, and all of that. So thank y'all for watching, man. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be dropping another video next week, episode 3. So stay tuned. That will be dropping next Thursday. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're new. Thank you for your view. I appreciate you. It's your boy Jay, Professor J. We out of here.